All righty, good morning, traders. This is Blake, and you are listening to the F.A.C.E show. I'm obviously filling in for Dale this week as he is traveling on holiday and enjoying himself. Hopefully, some sunny weather there in Southern California. Anyway, today's going to be we hope today's going to be a good day as far as volatility goes. Yesterday was pretty benign, and but today we got a few things happening. Yesterday was Whit Monday for a lot of European markets, and reopening today. I want to show you a couple of developments that we're seeing here in the market. So first of all, this update for the DAX, just so you guys can see it in ForexAnalytix, it was updated here as we have a head and shoulder pattern developing in the German DAX. Now, it's important to understand because I thought the breakout was going to take us, and it still can. I thought the breakout was going to take us a lot higher than just the 127% extension. I thought the German DAX would actually rally towards the 161% extension, which would be channel resistance. We didn't do that, and what we've set up in the meantime is we've set up a head and shoulder pattern. So the neckline's not very far away, and you got to think about that neckline's probably pretty close to the 18,000 18,570 level, which is the breakout point, which, that's going to coincide with the S&P around the S&P right around the 52,008 or 5,285 level. It's going to be a very similar type of situation. Now we are a ways away from there, but just realize that we're not too far from those levels. One of the things I have to say, when you're looking at the S&P, volumes have been very, very light on the rally. You can see that volumes have been very anemic. As the market has been rallying into new highs. That's typically not a very good sign when that happens. Not like the markets can continue to rally from here, but the sustainability of the rally is questionable. And that's why I think the markets might be at risk this week. But we have a lot of things we need to get through this week before we could see a potential rollover. And now that everybody's in front of the computers and you're seeing, traders around the world are in front of their computers, you are seeing a little bit of weakness in European equities. You have the FTSE that's actually trying to break lower too, out of a triangle pattern. Could be a head and shoulder pattern as well. It's, if you want to draw it out like this, I don't think that this is a wrong way to look at it either. Any which way you look at it, looks like we are seeing a pullback in European equities. Whether that's going to translate to U.S. equities or not this morning, we'll find out. But I think that is all worth noting. Let me say good morning to everybody, because boy, there's a lot of good mornings this morning. Simon says, good morning, Blake. Thank you for filling in on Dale's vacation. Absolutely. That's what I'm here to do. Alexander said, good morning, Blake and FA team. Happy turnaround Tuesday. Good morning, Michael Weissman. Ingmar, good morning. Hi, Dream Team. How are you? Glenn, good morning. Saloom, good morning. Ryan, piss off, Ryan. Just kidding, Ryan. Good morning and good afternoon. How are you, buddy?
I'm just about to piss off. Thank you, mate.
Piss off, man. Isn't that what you guys say over there? I mean, I'm just wondering.
Good
How you doing,
morning.
buddy?
I'm here too.
Oh boy.
Oh
Boy.
no. Oh
Estelle
no.
is on a cruise ship or yacht somewhere. Good to see you, Estelle. How are you?
I'm very, very well. Thank you.
Good to hear your voice, by the way.
Yeah, it's not a nice voice, but yeah, okay, I'll take it.
It's a wonderful voice. We
It's
miss
a
you.
very nice voice.
It's a very nice voice. Marcus, good morning. Kman, welcome to the Thunderdome, Kman.
Hi, campers.
AJ, good morning. Paul, good morning. Yeah, Ingmar said your voice is quite striking. See, you get that? AJ says, Blake, lots of rumor that SEC will approve Ethereum ETF this week due to political pressure. That'll be a 180-degree turn for this Security and Exchange Commission. Crypto's gone crazy. Yeah, NVIDIA earnings will be key. Yes, they will be tomorrow afternoon. By the way, NVIDIA, if you guys do not know. And And yeah, we've seen a rally quite substantially. It happened in Asian trade. Bitcoin, just heads up. I mean, Bitcoin's going up with uh, how should I say, in sympathy, right? So Bitcoin's actually hit its channel or flag resistance up around the 71,000 level, but Ethereum has obviously rallied quite substantially. I got asked yesterday in the ForexAnalytix chat room, if you guys are not in here, I'll just kind of show you some conversations that happened last night. This is this morning, and this is all in European trade. You can see everybody going back to yesterday. Nuno asked me last night, like, hey, any thoughts on crypto explosion? Too late to buy and too soon to sell? And I'm like, hey, Nuno, it seems like the rally is off the ETF, ETH ETF news that Gav posted earlier. I think it's a little early to fade, and that was last night, around 5 o'clock in the evening for me, which is about 8, 9 o'clock in the evening for if you were in the East Coast, and we were trading around this 3,600 level. And I'm like, when you have news like that, that's kind of surprising, as AJ pointed out, it's got to make its way around the world. I mean, you got to imagine there's traders in Asia that are just waking up to the news, may have been short, that had to cover. You got, traders in Asia that are going, okay, I need to actually buy some. And then you're going to get European traders that may have been, out and about, not in front of the computer, and they're going to get up first thing in the morning and go, shoot, they're going to feel the same way. So you're going to feel the repercussions of something like that that wasn't expected in the market. It's got to make its way around. Now that everybody's pretty much seen and been able to react to the news, yeah, could we stall here? Maybe. I wouldn't want to stand in front of it at this moment. One of my setups on the week ahead video was to be short Bitcoin while it's below 69,000, and there, you can't do that when you couldn't take that trade in front of crypto news like that. I mean, but no one was expecting it, and so that was one of those things that it's out. Could crypto fail up here? Maybe, but I wouldn't want to stand in front of it until I had some definitive answers. But anyway, good. Thanks for the heads up, AJ. Yep, and I agree with you. So let's go over to Ryan. And Ryan, what are you thinking today? I mean, we got Canadian CPI. That's like the big news on the docket. We can go over how we feel about the Canadian dollar, but anything else that you're seeing on your radar during the flow show this morning? And if you guys don't know how to get to the flow show, I just want to make sure that I reiterate, Kman and Ryan are on the flow show every single day. You just go over to our webinars page on ForexAnalytix. You can see it right here, register right there, and you can listen to them all the time. So Ryan, sorry, elongated question. So what's on your radar today?
Yeah, I think it's all about CPI, the Canada CPI. See what's cooking over there in the land of syrup and beavers. It's the same game that we're playing with all the central banks. When are they going to cut? How much they're going to cut by? And this data is going to edge that trade one way or another. So, very important level, as we've been talking about for a couple of weeks, week and a bit now. This 136 area, 136.50. What's it going to do? Are we going to stay in the box, or are we going to move out the box? And if we move out the box, is it going to stay out the box? So I was dangling a sell stop in from yesterday. I've pulled that over the data just because it could be a little bit funky. But I think if it's on around expectations, CPI continues to move the right way, albeit a bit slowly. If it speeds up a bit, if we see inflation down around the 2.5 mark or less, then that's probably going to get Macklem talking a little more dovishly about the prospect of cuts.
I mean, it seems like, and I'm going to throw this out here. This is both for Canada and for the UK this week. Inflation expectations seem to be pretty low for not only for Canada, but we were talking yesterday about the UK as well. It seems like the easier trade would be for a beat and the dollar Canadian to slip back below 136. I mean, are you feeling the same way?
Yeah, I think it's binary. At this level, 3% is my sort of pivot point, and all their numbers, if they come in as expected, will have a two handle on it now. So yeah, the surprise will be if it comes in higher and we see some of those back above 3% or at 3%. But yeah, that will see dollar CAD dropping down. But I think it's been going the right way for them, just really slowly, a bit like the Fed. So yeah, as I say, the risk is binary at this level. If the numbers are on around expectations, I'll be careful about chasing a break either side of that 136, 135.90 and up to 136.50, because it wouldn't suggest that we're going to be moving that far on that sort of number.
All right. Okay. Well, it does seem like whatever the result is, if you're not positioned for it, you might have to chase it a little bit, but the upside or downside would seem fairly limited. Are you just looking at the dollar CAD, or is there another pair that might have your have your attention as well?
Well, I know Kman's been looking at EURCAD as
Kman.
well. We had a good discussion on the Flow Show this morning just about how it's important you can look at other crosses to take the dollar out, the US dollar out, the trade, and because there are other opportunities and other skews that can happen in other currencies, and got a little bit of a break happening there, as you can see. And but yeah, Kay was leading a charge on that one.
Yeah, so Kman, I mean, it looks like, and I'm just eyeballing it here. We are at a 618 retracement, little double top setting up in the EURCAD. Is how are you viewing this one?
Yeah, that's the one. We had a long conversation as well, a very interesting conversation about whether to do dollars or crosses as well on the Flow Show. If people want to look at have a look at the Flow Show today, it was very interesting because Angela asked a question, a very interesting question as well. So yeah, this one it's banging its head against that 61.8, but I think. A bit of a low one today may be the clincher for to go for a little walk higher in that pair if it would go, of course. I don't know. I mean, it's expected to come down a bit. I also think that if you look at it from the Bank of Canada perspective, that McClem wouldn't like anything more than start to lean dovish. So I guess that if we have a miss to the downside, so a milder reading, that Canada could get a little knock on the head. That is how I view it.
Yeah, I know. Well, okay, let's talk about that for a second. I kind of I actually agree with you. I mean, if like I'd mentioned, the data itself, it looks like expectations not only for Canada but the UK as well. Expectations are very low. So
Well, the Canadian ones are just 0.1, 0.2 lower than the prior, but that trimmed CPI, I think, I don't know exactly to what kind of CPI they always look at it, but I think the trimmed is what people also look at, and that's expected to come now down under the 3% mark, and that would already be a bit of a bit of a positive, I guess. Well, I mean, positive if we look at it that way, lower CPI, less stress. So yeah, the UK one is is expected to come in very low, but the Canadian one only 0.1, 0.2 lower than prior. So there is still room for a bit of a downward surprise. So I guess that would have the bigger impact. That's kind of the way that I look at it right now. But of course, I
right.
mean, it comes in very sticky. The trend still above 3%. We're probably going to go for a break of the 135.90 on the dollar CAD. I'd rather do dollars if it's a beat and a cross if it's a miss. Although I think dollar CAD could go for a walk as well. So I actually bought an overnight call in the dollar CAD in case we get a miss to the downside.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, I do think that the bigger reaction would be on a miss. And so if that's the case, dollar CAD could be trading well above 136.50 on some sort of miss CPI data. And that's right. Going back to the EURCAD, I mean that would be a pretty significant breakout above that. What's shaping up to be a double top right
Yeah,
now is just really key resistance. And if that's broken, it's probably going to be some stops above there, right?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I'd be thinking so too. Having Stelios here, and Stelios, I know you just heard the sweetest voice on the web. That comes from
Oh,
George. Come on. I
thank
mean,
you
that's
so much, all of you.
look
Thank you.
at you, sexy
All right.
Stelios.
All
So
right.
what's happening in your world of all engulfing silver and gold?
Well, let me take the screen for a few minutes, okay? Is that okay?
Oh my God, here
Oh
we go.
no. Oh no, it's not
You
Steve. It's
got
not
it. Here we
Steve
go.
on a bathing suit.
Stelios is in
Don't worry.
control, folks. I'm gonna go have a
So,
shot of
uh,
tequila.
you know me, I always look at the big picture. Oops, sorry. That's what I want to show. So for me, that obviously we're in a state where central banks are now starting to either think about cutting or cutting. The ECB has basically told us that they're going to be cutting in June. And Bank of England is probably not far behind because their CPI is expected to hit a two-handle, a low two-handle, actually, if I'm not mistaken. So it's all about the timing and the magnitude of the cuts. The Fed is going to be a little bit behind all those. But for me, again, the main driver is yields and the dollar. I mean, they drive pretty much everything. And look at the similarities. So the 10-year US is caught between 50 and 200 DMA. It's kind of trying to decide if it's going to break lower from this support, which is quite substantial now. This support 433 or so, and the DXY is actually the same. And if you, I was looking at this just a second ago. If I do that, check it out. That's pretty good correlation, right?
Oh yeah.
I think these are going to be moving in tandem as they have done, and I think the break is going to be to the downside. Um, that's my view. I think it being an election year this year, there's no way that they're going to allow markets to fall or to crash in any way. So I think the Fed is probably going to be erring on the side of dovishness for a little while longer. What happens after the end of the year, I don't know. But I think for now, this is my view of what's going to happen. The euro is an interesting one because uh, Eurozone data is not really great, is it? And the Eurozone is going to be cutting. The Fed's going to be following. I think the euro is caught in a big range here for the way I trade. I'm not looking at 10, 20, 50 pip moves. I'm always targeting more. So for me, there's nothing to do on this. But you asked
You
for
you
it.
you know you
Yes.
know you know Stelios, I would have been you're not very convincing right at this moment in time.
About
What
what?
would convince me that if you were really a dollar bear is you would be buying your family tickets to Disneyland, California for the fall, and because you're not even committing to that, I'm not feeling it, buddy. I'm just not feeling it.
Funny you should say that. We are discussing it with the family, but
Good. Yeah, you guys know
yeah.
you have a place to stay at my house, so
Visit Arizona as well. Yeah.
well, yeah, of course. We're 4 hours away. Five,
But
six.
yeah, so the the main story recently, right? Everybody's been talking about, oh my God, the US debt is unsustainable. I think every debt is unsustainable the way things are going, UK, Japan, EU, everything. So I don't think the US debt is the main culprit or the only culprit, but it is a situation. And if you look at like you mentioned, metals. We're almost at new all-time highs in gold. The main one was silver, which broke out finally after what was it? 3 years of a kind of a channel um, correction. I have been long. If you're in the chat room, you will know that I had been taking profits on the way up. I reloaded along with Kman at 2620, and now we're just gone completely. I think there's going to be a correction. We could easily retest this 30 level, but for me, this is now a proper breakout. What's more interesting to me is copper, and I'm sure you're looking at this.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
Copper
Yeah.
has gone ballistic, basically, all-time highs, if I'm not mistaken. And the problem with this is that, with all these things like copper, hitting new all-time highs, and the cost of everything is rising, right? Rising copper is inflationary. Rising oil is inflationary. Everything is inflationary. So our central bank's going to be cutting rates as things become more expensive. This is the big, the big question, and they're caught in between a rock and a hard place. Unfortunately, they will have to cut rates because they to sustain the level of interest on debt is you need lower rates. I was reading the other day that the percentage of revenues going into U.S. interest payments on debt is at all-time highs now, and so they have to cut. So Blake, what do you think? Which way do they go? If they cut rates, they're going to be pushing inflation higher, right? So what do they do?
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't know.
every central bank is going to be faced with the inflation fight or the growth fight, and you would think in a level-headed Fed would let the economy go and fight inflation and keep rates higher for longer. I hope they do the right thing. I hope they let the economy slow down and they continue to fight inflation and keep a lid on it. I just don't know if they're going to go that way. I just don't know.
Yeah. The problem is that to fight inflation, hiking rates has an effect, but really the main way to fight inflation is to cut spending. That's what they need to do.
Yeah,
And that's what no country is going to be doing. No politician is going to be doing that. That's what scares the hell out of me.
Janet Yellen, she just wants to keep on going. Fiscal, 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 fiscal. Yeah, why not?
Keep on trucking. Yeah.
She'll be dead. She didn't have to deal with it, or nor to her, anybody that she's with, and who cares about the other generations. So anyway, we can go down a really dark rabbit hole regarding that. But who's here, Stelios? We actually have Grega Horvat is here, who does our Elliott waves with ForexAnalytix. Grega, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. Listening.
Hello.
Yeah, so sexy voices.
Yeah, it's only Stelios' sexy voice. As George said, the sweetest voice on the internet. So, Grega, what are you looking for going into Canadian CPI and the remainder of this week? What's on your radar?
Well, actually, dollar CAD is sitting on some very interesting trend line support. Can I share the screen?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You can take the screen.
You got about 3 minutes to do so before I have to get ready for the data.
Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes. Yep. Okay. Let me just check real quick. So we have dollar CAD that is sitting on this trend line, connected from start of the year. So I think that we can break to the downside here. But keep in mind that Canadian dollar has been up only 0.5% or so since the US yields have topped, while the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar have been up more than 2%. So even if dollar CAD would break to the downside after today's data, I still think that other commodity currencies are much more attractive, like Kiwi. Tomorrow we have interest rates decision. So I think that this one has much more upside potential. They are not, the odds are not in favor of any kind of cuts for this year yet. So I think that some other commodity currencies are much more attractive. But still, if we see a move to the downside, I just think that the dollar CAD could potentially move all the way back to the lower side of the range. If you remember, few weeks back, we were tracking this triangle, Blake, and we said that we are going to possibly stop at the upper side of the range. So I think that we could stay stuck in these big levels, but still there is a plenty of time in the short-term basis if we to the downside if we break that trend line.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Here's the thing. I'm not bullish enough the Canadian economy to actually have the confidence to trade that. And what's a shame is Adam Button, who's Canadian from Forex Live, he was supposed to be here today. He actually just sent me a message. He's in South Africa. He apologizes. He's not going to be able to make it. But today, so we're not going to have Adam Button from Forex Live here. He'll revisit with Dale when he comes back. But I wanted to get his take on the Canadian economy because he's been a Canadian bear, as I have too, and I don't have any reason to shift gears at this point. So anyway, I see what you're saying. It probably has to be more of a dollar play than a Canadian play.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. And I absolutely agree with what Stelios said earlier. I still think that the US yields have topped out here and that we are now in a corrective rally. It's interesting that despite this recovery here, stocks haven't seen any kind of a real move to the downside. Even other major currencies versus US dollar are just consolidating now at the start of this week. So whenever this thing is ready to continue to the downside, that's when other major currencies can be much more attractive rather than US dollar, I think. And metals could explode much further.
Yeah, awesome. Well, hey, I want to thank you, Grega, for bringing.
I love
bringing
you, Grega.
Yeah, just because you said you love metals and they're going higher is the reason why I got to hear it from Stelios. I'm gonna get a setup for today, and I'm actually gonna do it a little bit differently than I normally do it. I'm gonna put the Euro Canadian down below, since I know Kman. Whoops. Actually, I guess that's going to sit up top, and then I'll put the dollar Canadian below here. It's no big deal. Either or, it doesn't really matter to me. Dollar Canadian is going to be on the lower chart. You can see it right here. And let me clear out all that crap. I don't know. There's a lot of drawings there, and I don't think I want them. And then you got the Euro Canadian up top, dollar Canadian down below. I'm going to get the data flash off of ForexAnalytix. Let me grab that. I'm going to pull that off to the side here. And real quick, any last minute thoughts, Ryan and Kman, since we had a couple other guys join us today. Ryan, any last minute thoughts going into this data here?
No, not really. Just gonna keep an eye on it and see what happens and react to it, I think.
All right, Kman, any thoughts on anything else, even not Canadian related?
Anything else? Yeah, we are on interesting levels in those in the dollar mix and the euro mix. Anywhere here around this 16.50-54 zone, dollar mix, euro mix just below 18 now. Looks for a bit of consolidation, but we do have some extra support here, so I lightened up the positions a little bit, still staying short in the Euromix, but no, for the rest, well, we can't look besides the dollar yen, which is still advancing well above 156 now, very close to 170 again in the euro yen. All those yen crosses remain extremely big still.
They do.
It's going to take, but by the way, we have G7 meetings this week as well in Italy. And Canada, Suzuki, well, Canada, I don't know, but Ueda and Suzuki will be there, I think. So we may have a few lines coming out in regards to the yen as well in this week.
And let's not forget, actually, tomorrow or early morning, we have South African inflation. We have actually Mexico inflation on Thursday with Mexican GDP. So a couple other data points coming out of Mexico. As we get towards the end of the week. So thank you very much, Kman. By the way, equities, I know we're not really moving, but we're seeing a little bit of selling coming in just now over the last few minutes in equities. The dollar is actually firming up almost across the board. You're seeing the euro kind of dip here. Sterling's still holding around the 127.10 level, very key resistance. And the dollar CAD, obviously, waiting for the data. And remember, the dollar CAD is the lower chart that you see here. We have Canadian CPI on the data flash right over here, just so everybody sees it.
Blake,
this is that CAD.
Sorry to interrupt. You mentioned equities. You heard yesterday the Morgan Stanley chief analyst went bullish after being bearish for a while. And we've been saying the only two left was Morgan Stanley guy and the JP Morgan guy, Marko Kolanovic, whatever his name is. So as soon as the other guy goes bullish, then we're at the top.
There we go. Kolanovic, let's see him bend over, Red Rover, and then the markets might actually roll over too. So yeah, we'll see about that. All right, good point, Stelios. So hey, Canadian CPI coming up in just a few seconds. We've got about 30 seconds to go. So just a heads up, if you're looking at the dollar CAD, I think below 136 or above 136.40 is going to be, the kind of your break points, if you will, in the market for those of you watching, and we're like literally 20 points on either side or in between both right now. We're at 136.20. So those are the levels we'll be looking for. All right, heads up. Here we go. Scream it if you see it before me. Remember, Data Flash comes with ForexAnalytix. Make sure you guys try out ForexAnalytix. This is the week you need to do it. Here we go.
Little low.
Oh, weak.
Little low, but a revised one tick higher. So, but still coming in a little lower. Core as well. Core 1.6, dropping below the 2% mark.
Oh dear.
Oh geez, yeah, 1.6%. I mean, you know, we're not seeing a real big reaction yet.
No, actually not.
136.40 would be the level. That's the level we need to be watching today, guys. Let's see if we can get some. I want to see if stops start getting triggered above here. This is really the level that I care about. Right, not there, right there. So we'll see if some of those levels get triggered or not. Let's see if the stop and Kman, I know you're looking at this this 148.20 level or whatever in the EURCAD.
Yeah, still below though. Not too much reaction I find on the number.
Yeah. You know, and it's interesting. I was just reading a research piece just before we started that we're leaning really far into Canadian buying Canadian dollars, and obviously that analyst is wrong-footed right now, and so you got to see it. You know, people like that were leaning into it, their stops start getting triggered here shortly. I wouldn't write off the Canadian move just yet. Let's go over to the dollar CAD right here. Let's see here. Yep, we're getting inching up there. All right, as that happens, remember, oh, and by the way, stocks, NASDAQ 100 just hit fresh trend lows. Dow is at its lows of the session right now. And if we continue to see equity markets shows a little bit of weakness up here, that's just going to give the dollar an extra bid. So just, you know, keep that in mind, especially against the CAD. That could be one of the catalysts that kind of drive it higher too. Let me go look technically where we're at on the, oh crap, I did delete everything. Oh, my bad. All right, well, we're just gonna have to redraw everything here real fast. Here you go. As far as the channel that we were looking at, let me just get that drawn out there for you. And then we have this bigger trend line over here. It's my fault from earlier. Probably should not have done that, but that's okay. This out of the way. That look just like that. And those are your breakpoints there. And then I'll have to draw some fibs just to get reacclimated with where we're at. You can see there's a 38% retracement just above the market at 136.50 if we do start breaking higher. But yeah, I mean, we're flirting. So Ryan, before we sign off, like I said, we don't have Adam Button here with Forex Live. He's oh, here we go. We're getting towards that resistance. What are your thoughts, man, going into the end and rest of the day, and then we'll go ahead and sign off.
Yeah, I've had a little nibble long dollar CAD at 33 on the back of that core CPI number. That BOC core sticking a one handle on it. That's quite a significant drop.
You can see
so,
you got a little bit of
catch on.
Yeah, it looks like you're in the trades room in ForexAnalytix talking about some positions you're taking on. Same with you, Kman, right?
Yeah, I just updated the trade room while you were on there.
Look at you guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
here, wait.
I also bought some calls, as you can see just above.
Yeah, you bought those ahead of. Well, you told everybody even ahead of time that you were buying that. So
yeah, and then I bought it overnight as well.
Awesome. And you know what? I'm already on dollar CAD.
I heard there was somebody in the market trying to look for a stronger one, so I took the other side.
Yeah, I know. You know, it's sometimes you play into what other people are doing. I love to know when other people are positioned the other way, and I think we all are on the same page there. So very good. So guys, remember, if you want to be kind of knowing, well, obviously you can know what Kman, Ryan, myself, what we're trading at. Oh, and not just us. There's other traders in here that are talking about what they're doing, and it's not to mimic what we're trading, but it's more is like, hey, I respect what these guys are doing. I want to know what side of the market they're on. Doesn't mean I have to do exactly what they're doing, but just knowing that information is extremely powerful in the market, in my opinion. So here goes the dollar Canadian, kind of breaking higher. Stelios, are you still here? Oh,
I am indeed. Yes.
oh, all right. Well, hey, before we sign off, we heard your beautiful voice. We're gonna hear it any more this week while
You
Dale
are
is.
gonna hear it this week again as much
Woo!
as I can.
All right. Well, it's nice to have you here. We don't always have that pleasure of having you here. We know you have other duties with your family and with your daughters, being the best dad you can possibly be. So we really appreciate you being here and being part of this. Ryan, Kman, really thank you guys for always stepping up and being here on the F.A.C.E show as well.
Yeah, apparently Stelios is going to bring his best bottle of Metaxa once we hit 35 in silver. It's
You
just
know
a
it,
rumor,
baby.
but you know.
I
Well
want
done,
the 5-star only Stelios, 5-star.
It goes more than 5 stars.
It does? I thought 5-star was the
Anyway.
top.
No, there's a 7-star as well.
Ooh, that's big time.
You only get the 3-star stuff. Like
only Ryan gets the 3-star stuff. That's like,
hey, I've got Steve brought me a bottle, so I'm all right, thank you.
that's awesome. Well, hey guys, I want to thank you all for being with us, and I'm going to say this real quick to those people that are still logged on listening in. We have something special coming up this weekend regarding ForexAnalytix. So this is the week that you do want to take a trial of ForexAnalytix and see what it's all about. It's only $1 to do it for 10 days. And this weekend, we'll have a nice little announcement for you. So make sure that you guys are listening into the week ahead video. You could be listening here on Friday. We'll talk a little bit about it as well. But like I said, today is the day. This week is the week that you want to be at least trying out ForexAnalytix and getting involved in the community, seeing if it's something that would fit your lifestyle, which I believe it will. And I think these other 3 gentlemen would agree with me. So with that being said, we'll catch up with Adam Button when he comes back from South Africa, and he'll be back here with Dale. He couldn't make it today because of because of things he had going on while he's traveling. But don't worry, we have more great interviews coming up this week. So everybody, thank you so much for being here today. Good luck today. And for those of you in the ForexAnalytix community, I'll see you on the morning edge in approximately 38 minutes from right now. So that is our private show for ForexAnalytix traders. All right. Thanks, everybody. Ryan, Kman, Stelios, thank you guys.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta. Ta-ta indeed. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Good luck.